They thought they could just delete her from the family history. They didn't know she had a digital backup. This is the story of Hannah, a woman who had to fight her own family for what was rightfully hers. I first met Hannah on the steps of a courthouse. She looked exhausted, but her eyes held a fire I'll never forget. She told me a story that sounds like it's straight out of a movie, but it's all too real for so many families. Her father had recently passed away, and when it came time to settle his estate, her two older brothers suddenly announced that the will was lost. Convenient, right? Especially since Hannah knew her father's wishes. He had always told her that his property, a beautiful stretch of land that had been in their family for generations, was to be split equally between the three of them. But her brothers had a different plan. They claimed that since there was no will, the law would favor them as the sons, and they intended to sell the land and split the profits between themselves, leaving Hannah with nothing. Hannah was devastated. It wasn't just about the money. It was the betrayal. These were the men she grew up with, the brothers who were supposed to protect her. Now, they were trying to erase her from their father's legacy. She told me how they stopped answering her calls, blocked her on social media, and told the rest of the family that she was being greedy and trying to cause trouble. They painted her as the villain, all while they were quietly meeting with real estate agents and getting the property appraised. They were moving fast, trying to finalize the sale before Hannah could do anything to stop them. For a while, it seemed like they were going to get away with it. Without the will, Hannah's claim was just her word against theirs. The legal system, without that crucial document, was leaning in her brother's favor. She was on the verge of giving up, feeling completely isolated and defeated. Then, one sleepless night, fueled by a mix of grief and anger, Hannah had an idea. She started digging through old digital files, searching for anything that might help her case. She scoured old hard drives, cloud storage accounts, and finally, she logged into an old email account she hadn't used in years, and there it was. Buried in an email from her father sent 5 years ago, with the subject line, "Just for safekeeping," attached was a scanned PDF of his signed and witnessed last will and testament. Her hands were shaking as she opened it. The document clearly stated his wish. The estate was to be divided into 3 equal shares for his 3 children. Her father, a meticulous man, had created a digital backup and sent it to her just in case. He had foreseen a potential conflict and had, in his own way, left her the weapon she needed to fight back. Armed with this undeniable proof, Hannah went back to her lawyer. The look on her brothers' faces in court when the email was presented as evidence was, as Hannah described it, a picture of pure shock. Their carefully constructed lie crumbled in an instant. The judge was not impressed with their scheme. Not only did the court enforce the original will, granting Hannah her rightful third of the estate, but it also imposed a massive financial penalty on her brothers for their attempt at fraud and for deliberately trying to deceive the court. They had to cover all of Hannah's legal fees and pay her additional damages for the emotional distress they caused. In the end, they lost far more than they ever tried to gain. Hannah's story is a powerful reminder that in the digital age, it's a lot harder to erase the truth. It also shows the incredible strength it takes to stand up for what's right, even when you're fighting against your own family. Today, Hannah has her share of the inheritance. She decided not to sell her portion of the land. Instead, she's building a small home there, a place to honor her father's memory and to serve as a symbol of her own resilience. She won the war not just for the property, but for her father's last wish and her own place in their family's history. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. We'll see you in the next video.